Hey, what's up everybody? This is Rob with the Freeze Aquariums. Gonna jump right into it. Hygger reached out to me a couple weeks ago and I finally had time to sit down and plan out these or start doing these videos. I'm not someone that rehearses. I don't do a lot of editing. I'd rather you get it raw, honest, and upfront. So again, Hygger reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in reviewing and testing out some of their new lights. And I jumped at the chance. So they sent me two lights. I had planned to do it in one video, but my biggest flaw is I have a tendency of giving too much information and making my videos drone on. I've been working at trying not to do that. But it's a fault of mine. I'd rather give you too much than not enough. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. The reason I jumped at it was I've been kind of affiliated with Hygger for, it's got to be 6 or 7 years now. So when I'm coming to you, and Hygger takes a big chance with me because I tell them point blank, I'll test out your product, I'll try it, but if it's garbage, my subscribers are going to know it because I don't believe in cheating my subscribers out of the truth. Now with Hygger, I believe that they are a company that cares about their customers, which I'm going to show you what they sent, what I asked them to send me, that shows they listen. When I talk about Hygger products, my admiration for Hygger is based on several years of dealing with Hygger. They listen. That's my point. They do listen to us, the consumer, the hobbyist. So let's get into it. What I'm going to do, in all fairness, I screwed up when I asked them for this particular light. I wanted to put it into the bottom tank, which is a 10-gallon. The other light I'm going to put in the upper tank, which is a 7.5 all glass, no frame tank. The video about the light on top of that one is on my channel as well. There was a company called Current USA, and they do lighting. And they definitely have some nice lightings, but this was actually cool. What it was called was Serene Lighting, and what it had was, if you picture a projector screen but translucent like this, it would go on the back of your tank. And then you would put the light with holders on the outside of the tank and shine through it. Depending on how creative your aquascape was, the Serenity lighting would add the intensity that you're trying to do. When I saw this product, I was like, I want to give this a try, even though I screwed up. I got the wrong size, so I can't show you in the small tank like I wanted to, and I didn't feel it would be justifiable to bring my 29-gallon in from outside and put water in it and stick the light in there and go, here. You know, you don't get anything from it. At any rate, there it is. The Hygger Dunker Pro. It's their model HG135. It is for freshwater. Where I made the screw up is this is for a 20 to 35-gallon tank, or a 50.8 to 89 centimeter tank. So even in my 10-gallon, if I do it like this is going to stick up, and it's not going to be what I wanted to present to you and really highlight Hygger and their products. Product features: it does have a built-in timer and lighting duration, so you can adjust the intensity of the lighting. The timer you can set between 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 hours. And the timer allows the respective lighting program to run automatic in a 24/7 mode. That is cool because you can adjust your intensity, you can adjust your colors. So that's a step up. It also has a 24/7 lighting mode, which basically mimics your day from sunrise to daytime to sunset to nighttime. So let's take it out. Poof, there it is. So here it is. Comes with protective plastic film to protect the front. as well as the back. This light, being small, comes with 2 suckers. You and I call it, right, suction cups. They call them suckers. On the bigger lights, I know just from doing a little bit of research, comes with 3 to support the weight in the tank. So it does come with your plug, and then your cord from the light, and you plug it in and you're good to go. So what I find really cool about this light is the simplicity, but the amount of information that's at your fingertips. There was another video I did for another company's light, and that video is 8 years old, and I still today get either major thank yous for doing this. They, the company asked me to do it after I had done this unboxing, how to program the light, and it's got thousands of views on it. So I did 2 versions, one showing me doing the changes with the light in the view of the camera, and the other one was just a brief one. This is how you do this. And I'll tell you a story. But here you have your lighting percentage from 20 to 100. You have a clock. Then you have your timer for 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Bang, hit the button. You have your settings cog. You have your manual and you have your off on. And then you use your plus or minus to make your adjustments. And I'm only saying this because I've messed around with similar program controls like that. So let's plug it in. So it's plugged in. Boom, just like that, it's on. It does come with 9 colors. Blue, white, blue, red, green, cyan, pink, and gradient. I think if I didn't say purple, purple. So now something as simplistic as adjusting the brightness. I'm trying not to blind you here. Right now you can see that light is lit at the top. That's 100%. 80, 60, 40, 20. So you see it blinking. So what happens is, to set it, you just hit the button again. Now there's 10%, and it stopped blinking. So by hitting it a second time, it locks it in. So now if you go to manual mode, change the lighting. Whew. That is full spectrum. Right now it's set on 4 hours at 100%. So you want to change it to 6 hours because I have that. That's at 100%. It's purple. That is at 8, 10, 12. Easy enough to adjust the lighting. Come in here. So as I mentioned about the analog, it's highlighting the time. It doesn't do half hours. So to change the hours, you just go back. Okay, get it flashing again. So I'm hitting the plus sign, and you can see that light is moving around to the desired time. Or I can hit the minus and go the opposite direction. So, I mean, a nice timer. It's just, they've listened. And hold it to turn it off. And now I'm blind. Now, the reason that I pointed out earlier about the analog, that helps a lot of people where the other one The other light I did, where people are still asking me questions today or finding the video and thanking me, was digital. We've become such a digital society that it has ill effects. So what I mean, and why I said digital, there was a video I came across a couple of years ago, and I was kind of astounded at the society or the world and the changes. There was a guy on the street standing in front of a big clock, an analog clock. For you youngsters that don't know what that is, that's a clock with hands, which this will make sense. So the clock was like reading 10 after 3 in the afternoon. So, 10, 3, 12, 1, 2, 3, this designer right there. So they were asking people on the street, it's like, can you tell me what time it is? And the amount of people that just were like deer in headlights, like, huh? One person, now mind you, it was 10 after 3 in the afternoon. He's like, 8 o'clock at night? And the guy went and shook his head and he went, you do know the sun is still up. So it's 6 o'clock? So just making changes and putting stuff in front so that people can experience what some of us, take for granted. Like, hey, we can program it, but it's done. Look at this. It's on, it's off, it's changing colors, it's flashing, it's doing whatever. This makes it a little bit easier for that person who is not so technical savvy, that is. So to see that, and then when I saw this remote, I was like, it's a nice touch. Hygger listened. I'm going to, and I can't put it in the back of the tank because I have a universal rock wall in the back, so there's nothing to suction cup it to. And I really want to see just how well this looks in the tank and give you kind of real world evaluation. So I think what I'll do is I'll stick it down here because I do have space. I can stick it down and I can turn off the top lights and we can see what it looks like. So with the cord, the power cord is 4.9 feet plus 1.1 foot plus 4.8 foot, or 1.5 meters plus 0.34 meters plus 1.45 meters. Reason being, you're getting so many measurements, measured from the plug to the connector, from the connector to the light. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of these, but the 8 watt, I'll give you the wattage. 8 watts, 11 watts, 14, 17, 21, 24, 29, and 33 for your 55, 75s and up. Small size 7 by 1.6 by 0.4 or 18.4 by 4 by 1.1 centimeters. The largest being 42.5 by 1.6 by 0.4, and then 108 by 4.1 by 1.1 centimeters. So that kind of gives you the range of the light. Now the lumens will vary based on the number of LEDs per light. The smaller is 410, then you have 540, 690, 840, 1050, 1200, 1480, and 1690 lumens. Your Kelvin 6500 to 10,000 K, so you can successfully grow just about every plant in that tank. The color rendering index, or the rendering index, which again not a lot of people refer to, is 89. The index ranges from 0 to 100. What that index is, it measures how accurately a light source renders the color of an object compared to natural or standard light source. some of their other manuals, they did say CRI lighting, which again is color rendering index, but here they just said rendering index. If you had an index of 100, that means the colors are rendered perfectly, where the lower values can result in colors appearing distorted or unnatural. So it basically measures how natural something looks compared under an artificial light compared to natural or sunlight. So that's 89 regardless of the size. So on the smaller light, you have 30 LEDs. You get 10 whites, 6 blues, 1 red, 1 green, 12 RGB. And then on the bigger light, or the biggest, you get 240 pieces. You have 80 whites, 48 blues, 8 reds, 8 greens, and 96 RGBs. So in the light that I just showed you that I had on, which I'm still seeing spots, that was 120 pieces. That was 40 whites, 24 blues, 4 greens, 4 reds, and 48 RGBs, which is where you kind of get your gradient lights from. So the manual gives you the specs, and I only touched on a few. It gives you the various controls in the tank, outside, above the water, the ramp up. It goes into warranty information, your ramp up and ramp down under the 24/7 mode, your timer mode, or your time setting, what comes with it, the warnings, U.S. customer service, and so on. So far, you know, the amount of changes that I've seen just in this alone is very, very nice that Hygger went to this extreme. And I'm kind of anxious to see just how well it looks underwater. This will be the first light that I've actually put in underwater. All right, so I did stick it in there, and you can see it's got quite the cord, because all my other sockets are taken up by my filters and all my other stuff. So I pushed the HG957 back just to give you an idea. And yeah, there's blackbeard algae in there, which I don't worry about. I just kind of keep it at bay. Some of the older growth is dying off. I have to get back in there and clip those out. All right, so now we have everything off. All right, so let's turn it on. So actually, now for some of you folks that have fish that don't like to come out in daytime, there you go. I would think if I left this like it was for probably 20 minutes or so, my black loach, my coolie loaches, they would all come out. But there's we'll go through the lighting, and let's see, where am I at? This is at 100%. So we'll just go through the colorings to give you an idea. You can see it's definitely dark over there. So if this was dead center in a tank, it would definitely create a cool look to it. That is full spectrum. So now we'll turn it down. And that Lowigia needs to be taken care of. So that was all the way down. So let's turn it down to 20. And we'll go through the colors again. This is at its lowest light. geez, I put the light on. So that's all the lighting step throughs, and that's at the lowest setting. I showed you at the highest setting. So now if you can picture, well, maybe, I don't know if it's going to work. We'll do it through the side. So it'll kind of give you an idea of what it would look like if it was coming from the back, which I really wish I could do, but and the fish don't mind it. It's not bothering them in the least. I see they stirred up a lot of stuff. We'll turn it up to 100%. All right, so we're at 100%. And you can see some of the colors popping. That's full, and that's at 100%. So I can only imagine if I had got the bigger light and put it across, I think that would really be cool. So, HG135, 17 watt. What'd you think? I like it. I mean, it's a nice little light, and you saw, I mean, like the fish could care less, you know, where to me some of the features that are on these more expensive lights, even some of the cheaper lights for that matter, of the thunder and stuff like that, it's supposed to stimulate this, that, and the other thing. I think a large percentage of our fish have no clue what's going on other than the lights being turned off and on and scaring the crap out of them. A lot of our fish are raised in a warehouse or in a building. But flicking through the colors now, I mean, it wasn't a great demonstration because of the size of the tank versus the size of the light. But in that small area, this threw, and the camera didn't do it justice, a lot of light. But I think, like where I kind of shot through the side, you can kind of see how it illuminated, like the green made the plants just suddenly all look super green. It's a nice light. And I think, got to figure out how, but I want to take this light, and it's all dried off and wrapped up, ready to go. I wanted to give it to you, one of my subscribers. You can put it in your tank and enjoy it. You can do a video on it, you know, whatever floats your boat. Let me think of how I'm going to do it. And then I will announce that. I'll try to maybe announce it on my other video here. I am going to put it back in the bubble wrap to protect it. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe, hit the bell for any videos I might have coming out. I would certainly appreciate you hitting a like if you enjoyed it, if you got something from it. I will leave links in the description for the discount code, as well as the link to go see this for yourself. And as always, God bless. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace.